Hi everyone. Headsets. Uh, yeah, it sounds trivial, but sometimes we forgot the most important thing. Uh, okay, I'm Victor Osman. I'm CEO and founder of Feedvisor. And what is Feedvisor is we are the only holistic optimization platform that basically combines advertising, pricing, inventory, and all other retail aspects to help you achieve performance that can really drive your performance to the next level. So Feedvisor is available pretty much in two models. It's available as a software platform that you can use in-house, and it's used today by largest sellers and brands on Amazon. Or it's available also in the model of agency-like, where you partner with us, and then we help you to manage your campaigns, to build your pricing strategies, and the strategies for the overall optimization. What we're going to discuss today is a few things. First, we'll talk a little bit about the merchant reality. What kind of problems merchants face today, how Feedvisor approaches this, and what's the new ad stack we have built and why. We'll talk a little bit about the AI, the role it plays, the data, and the optimization, and we'll tie it all together and see how you can win in this new retail media reality. So let's start from the very basics. It was never easy to sell on Amazon. And Feedvisor is there for the last 10 years. So I'm working with a lot of sellers, a lot of brands, and I can really see how the whole market evolved, how the whole story evolved, where it started, where it's today. I would say when the advertising just started, life was easier. You can basically select a few keywords, you can put your ads, the traffic starts to come in, you start to create your organic ranking, and the life was good. Now, it's not as good today as it used to be, but there are many more tools, there are many more sophisticated approaches that can be used to make your life better. So the first thing that we all face is the increasing cost to advertise. So the more basic, unsophisticated approach, when you simply put the keywords out, you target them, and you're trying to get the traffic, that becomes more and more expensive. So this highway is no longer the best way to reach the goal. You need much more sophisticated, much more nuanced strategy, and we'll talk about this. The second thing is it's not enough just to advertise. You need to understand the full shopper journey. You need to understand how people are discovering your product, how people are buying your product, and without that understanding, you're ending up with basically wasting your money and being suboptimal. The next one is the importance of the organic. It shrinked. It used to be important. It's well less important now. Then there is obviously operational stuff. How you make sure that you move the traffic to the best performing products, to the one that has the most inventory and the one that have the highest margins. And then this all of that led us to understanding that when you live in a house, right, and then you build a house at a certain time, it was good at the time, it was very modern, and then you started to add innovation. You started to add this room and this passage and that passage, and it becomes a mess. And most of the advertising platforms today, very much unfortunately, became a mess because they were designed 5-6 years ago, and they drag all this functionality with them, and they're no longer as relevant as they used to be. So very same thing happens with us. We started the early days of advertising, and then we came to the conclusion that all the things that been important at the time are no longer important today, and what's important today is different. So we built the platform from scratch, and I'm going to walk you through the approach we took and why what we did is more relevant. So I would say the world of today can be described in very simple way. One is data. You absolutely have to have data. Now, when I say data, it's much more complex than it used to be. Data, you need to look into the advertising data, obviously. You need to look at the traffic data, sessions or glance views. You need to look at the conversion data. But we also need to look at the other types of data. Pricing data, how pricing data drives your conversions. Inventory data, inventory flow. Do you have high velocity items, low velocity items? What happens with the breadth of various retail data, retail readiness? So there's a lot of data pieces. So if you don't see all your data and you're trying to optimize, it's almost like driving on a highway with one eye closed. You can drive, but it's hard. Do you think it's easy to manage your Amazon business with one eye closed? It's not. That's why you really need to have all of these aspects together. You really need to be able to see all the data points. So you collected all the data points, great. The next thing is you need to have a brain. You need to process these data points and you need to make decisions, and these decisions need to be executed. So this is exactly how new Feedvisor platform has been designed. We start with the most important layer, the layer of data, signals layer. We constantly live in the world. We receive signals. We receive signals about price changes. We receive signals about conversions. We receive signals about shopping behavior. You had the AMC session today. What happens with various users, how they discover your product. If the first touch behavior moves and the last touch behavior moves, the world is no longer the same. People discover it differently. You cannot keep advertising the same terms. It needs to be different. So the signal layer really defines everything from shopping behavior to intent to value to the various contexts and to the engagement. You capture that. The second layer is where you need to basically identify your segmentation. So you start to segment. You start to segment by the audience types. You start to segment by discovery. You start to segment by first touch and last touch segments. There's keyword segmentation. There's audience segmentation. There's a lot of things you need to do in order to segment. You segment, you need to score. You need to now have all your analytics, all your data done on the segment by segment layer. You done that, you now start to activate. You activate top of the funnel first. Then you move to the retargeting. You see where you're losing people in the funnel. Then you move to the sponsored ads, and then you bring them back through differentiated bidding connected to the MC. And finally, you have a brand store if you have strong brand presence. Combine it all together, deliver dynamic action, and now you have the 360 effect. And 360 effect is what makes the platform unique. You have, some of you want to increase the growth. If you want to increase the growth, it's great that you're targeting the long tail keywords, but you need to go further and you need to look into the generic keywords. So you need to do first touch attribution, either through MC or through other tools, and then realize how you shift your focus. If you want to grow, you need to go more upper funnel. If you want higher margin, you're going to efficiency. Same goes with pricing. If you want to, if you have products with very high velocity, you want to slightly raise their price, and guess what? The velocity may not suffer, your margin will improve, you will put more into the brand building. Everything is connected. You have the low velocity items, you need to advertise. You advertise, the velocity increases, then you can slightly increase or decrease the price accordingly, and as a result, you close the loop. So what really happens here is AI, the central brain, it powers everything. It powers everything because, like in our world, we see around, we see everything that happens, we get the signals. We get these signals continuously, we process them, we understand them. And then from these signals, the central brain generates the conclusions, how exactly we should act, and then the rest of the body implements. The Feedvisor advertising stack works exactly the same. We collect signals, we combine these signals, we process these signals, we turn them into the insight, and then we deliver optimization actions. So one more step, super interesting. You go around this floor, almost every booth you see there's an AI. Everywhere is AI. So when I speak with prospects, when I speak with my customers, I always tell them, please try to talk to the vendor and ask, where's your AI? Is it like lurking in the basement? Where exactly it is? What happens? Can I interact with that AI? And the answer is, very unfortunately, there's no AI. In 95, I'm not talking for everyone, but in 95%, it's lipstick on the pig. There's no AI, there's the same thing rebranded as AI, And it's just simple automation. Couple of rules combined with few automation actions, and they're being sold as AI with a high price point. So to make it differentiated, to show that in Feedvisor there is real AI, we actually made this AI accessible. So you can go directly into our platform. You can talk to AI. You can ask any questions like you do on ChatGPT or any other Gen AI or Perplexity. You can put the question. You can say, okay, I want to know where was a budget shift, how this budget shift resulted in this or that action. I want to know which products I lost sales lately, but at the same time, some of the campaigns went out of budget. You can ask any sort of question and you will get the very detailed AI answer. You can do a follow-up and you can even take actions. That's AI. So the Gen AI is something that is capable to understand your question and show you the same answer. So you can now take the human readable answer and act on it. The platform, the optimization acts exactly the same way. It uses the same AI to understand and act. So moving next, and I don't have a lot of time, so I'll try to keep it short. Whatever we do results in amazing improvement for our customers. First of all, there's a full funnel optimization. We spoke about this. It's an ability to move certain spend, upper funnel, measure it right, and then see that this additional upper funnel generate new to brand customers, generate improved conversions, or sometimes you need to move certain traffic lower in the funnel. Sometimes you can use it through the generic searches, short tails. Sometimes you can do it through DSP. Sometimes you can do it through sponsored display. That's the full funnel approach. Very key. Second, combination of pricing and advertising together drives an amazing improvement. You make money on the items you're simply leaving it on the table by keeping price too low. Take this money, put into the brand building, and then create more traffic. Combine two, you have a bonanza. And then the third one, and it's the main theme today about the AMC, is how to create audiences that are highly granular, and this again led to substantial improvements in performance. So to combine it all, it really comes down, your success, it really comes down to the three pillars. The data. You need to have access to all the data. The data comes continuously, it changes. The retail data is changing, the traffic is changing, the seasonality is changing. You need to be able to capture these patterns. Then it goes to the central brain. The brain processes these changes. This is exactly how we people do. This is how exactly AI works. AI works in a very similar way to human. This is why it's called the generative AI. It responds to a very similar way to the human response. We know to process the data, we know to make sense of data, and we know to create actions. And we act through our body, we act through our thinking, we act through our writing. The same exactly thing happens in the AI-driven software. It runs through pricing actions. It runs advertising actions. It gives you inventory recommendations. It helps you to make the decisions, decide which items you want to buy, give you a prediction. This is the true AI. The true AI is the one that you experience through ChatGPT, you experience through Perplexity. It should be exactly the same when you're working with the Amazon platform. It's not different. It just needs to go level up. And finally, where it's all headed. What's the future? So first of all, definitely AI. It goes toward the agentic commerce. Agentic commerce means the AI acts behind the scenes and it basically multiple different engines, they interact with one another. One is focusing on pricing optimization, one is focusing on advertising optimization, another one watches inventory levels. They all can talk. It's very easy. They can talk. They can talk the same way as you talk with ChatGPT through queries. This is exactly how we interact with AI. This is how AIs talk one to another. Then there's automation. You should spend less manual work. Your manual work should be strategic. You should exactly understand where your focus should be. Should you focus more on the long tail? Should you focus on the short tail? Should you focus more on the brand building activity that generates you additional volume? Or you should focus more on the conversion, something that drives higher efficiency. This is your levers. This is how you decide where the business would be. So it's your decision. And the way you decide, this is where you will go. You want higher efficiency, you will implement, you will get higher efficiency. That may slow down growth. You want the opposite? Fine. It's possible. But it's your decision. This is where your strategy comes in. You tell the strategy, the AI translates it into action, and then strategy is automatically executed. So, all in all, to sum it up, never think in silos. Never drive with one eye closed. It's not helpful. It's actually harmful to your business. Rely more on AI. Don't be afraid. If you want to know if AI does the right thing, ask the AI. Ask the question. See how AI answers. If it doesn't answer well, it may be a sign that something needs to be rethought. But it doesn't answer well, you're in a good spot. Apply audiences, do segmentation, measure, 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 and finally connect everything and win. Thank you very much.